Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Planet Coaster here on Theme Park Worldwide. Now in the last episode I did continue work right up the top here of the park in my fantasy themed area. If we have a little look at this just here, of course in the episode before we did the junior coaster, then I put all the footpaths in, I put the teacups in, and in the last episode I did work on the vintage cars. Quite a lot of you like this vintage cars, but there was also a fair few people who said they want to see a little bit more enhancements done to this ride. Don't fear, this is by nowhere near finished. There is so much more work to do on this in terms of adding more detail to the buildings and changing a few little things on there, a few little details as we enhance the area. Like I say, there's so much more. It's sort of area in development, this, if you know what I mean. Like that is the centre point where that teacups is, and there's going to be stuff all the way around the edge. There's going to be dark rides at the back, and of course the theming is going to change all the way around the back here as well, so this might need to be enhanced a little bit in terms of the colours or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely not the finished product with the vintage cars ride, so stay tuned in further episodes for that one. However, I am itching to build another roller coaster. Right back in the first episode I built my RMC hybrid down here in the Wild West area. A few episodes later I then did the wing coaster up here in my Pirates area, and then since that obviously I've only done other rides in the park, big theming projects. I did all the entrance, I did the dart ride, of course I did build that junior coaster a couple of episodes back, but I am dying to build another huge roller coaster in this park, and that is what this episode is all about. Now I did reveal last week that I'm going to build a sci-fi futuristic area that's going to sit sort of between those trees and this little bit of island just here. It's going to end about here. We're going to have some more trees and a little bit of gardens area there just to separate it off a bit like we did on this side. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to make a start on that in this episode. Now I have decided, if we go on to coasters just down the bottom just here, I have decided what I'm going to build. Now I know a lot of people want to see me build a dive coaster in this park, and I can confirm there is going to be a dive coaster, and there's also going to be an inverted coaster from B&M, so 2 more rides from B&M going to be coming into this park. Quick, let's get B&M on the phone, get them down here. But in this episode I've decided to go for the park's second launch coaster. Now if we go back over to the wing coaster, that is a launched coaster over here, but it does, yeah, it's a massive sort of layout, and it interacts with the rapids and some buildings and the queue line. Lots of rock work, goal of the rock work. However, this coaster over here is going to be very different. It's going to be focused mainly on airtime and inversions in a really compact sort of space. So when I say really compact, it's going to be sort of partially inside buildings, it's going to be dug down a little, and it's probably going to sit on the site around sort of here. So yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not going to be tiny, but it's probably going to be, it's going to be a lot more compact than the wing coaster up there, and even more compact than the hybrid that we built just down here as well. So I'm going to make a start on it. Like I say, I always build my own coasters here. Like I say, I might not be the best roller coaster builder ever, but I try my best with it. More for me, it's about doing all the theming and the experience when it comes to these coasters. As much as I do love building them, and that's what I mean, I'm itching to do one now. But yeah, let's make a start. It's all about location with these rides, and I know exactly sort of how I want this to go. I'm going to launch out sort of into a bit of an overbank over to the side here, and I want this to be sort of the entrance to this sci-fi area. So if we spin that round just there, about like so, we'll have it on an angle like that, I think. There we go, and here it is. Now I want this to have probably 4 trains ideally, because we want to make sure that we can get the throughput on this. So I'm going to make sure that I've got a station long enough to accommodate as many trains that I want to run. Now we're not going to have any backward sections on this. Yes, it is a premier launch coaster, a bit like Full Throttle at Six Flags Magic Mountain, which does have backward sections and all that kind of thing, but we're not going to have that in this one. I don't want it to be too complex, if you like, in that respect. It's more going to be about the theming. Okay, so we have 2 cars per train and 4 trains. So 1, 2, 3, 4 trains. That's quite a good length for the station, actually. I'm quite happy with that. It's all about positioning, and we want to make sure that we got that right. Not too sure I like the angle on that, to be honest. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete it and start again. This is what it's all about for me. You know, it takes that time to get things right. You don't want to be rushing these projects. If you think something's not right, then you've got to change it. Sometimes you have these ideas, and I just think then I like this part to look great when you zoom out and look at it. There we go. I think we're on a bit better angle now. There we go, that looks a bit more like it. Let's start again, pop that in just there. I mean, we can always decide what we want to do station-wise a little bit later on if we need to expand it out. That's not a problem. That should be long enough now to make sure we got enough trains again. Cars per train 2, number of trains. Oh, there we go. 4 trains. Right. How does that look now? Yeah, that looks a bit better. That's what we want. Right, so let's think about this ride. Like I say, the inspiration for this, in a way, is Taron at Fantasyland. I know Taron's got no inversions, and this will have, but that's the sort of style we're going for in terms of it being quite sort of a complex sort of design as a theme and everything, but the coaster itself being quite simple, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's launching straight out to there. We don't want it to come out any further than that. In fact, let's go with this. I've not actually tried building one of these before, so it's going to be experimenting for me with this, which is always good fun. Yeah, I love Full Throttle at Six Flags Magic Mountain. It's quite funny actually, because when I was editing the vlog, I've somehow forgot to put the clip in from Full Throttle. So if you ever watch that Magic Mountain vlog, it's worth watching it just for the editing fail really. I forgot to put that clip in of Full Throttle, so everyone was like, oh my god, you didn't ride Full Throttle, when we actually did. I just didn't put the clip in. Yeah, that was quite nice. Straight up into a bit of banking. Like I say, we can use the smoothing tool to make this look even better as well. Ride a bit smoother. I think we might need a little bit more banking a little bit earlier on there. So if we start the banking just here. It means by the time we get to this point, yeah, that looks a bit more like it. Are you enjoying the theme park music in the background with these videos as well? I know a lot of you have commented and said that you are, which is great to see. I'm glad you enjoy it. Last week we had a bit of classic Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 music, which I know a lot of you did enjoy. Quite a few people mentioned that in the comments. So expand that out a little bit. Lots of terrain work to be done around this ride as well. I'm quite happy with that. I think that looks quite good. Like I say, there's a lot of terrain where you might be thinking, well, it's very flat and that isn't really very tall. I mean, what is it, 21 meters? So yeah, it's not really that tall at the moment, but obviously we're going to do a lot of messing about with the terrain, and that's going to come shortly actually when we go down into this first major drop on the ride. I feel like this coaster is going to take me a lot longer than it did to do the other ones, I'll be honest. I think because it's going to be a very complex sort of project in terms of the... I keep saying it's a simple coaster but it's complex. What I basically mean by that is it's a simple coaster in terms of the layout, but it's really going to rely heavily on the whole area itself and how it interacts with footpaths and that sort of thing. That's where I'm going with this. Oh, that's a really nice drop. Very strange that is actually as well, very different. I do like that. Right, now you see is where we're going to terrain now. And let's have a little look at what I wanted to do. You know when you've got something in your head but you're just not sure if it's going to work? That's kind of how I'm feeling with this project at the moment. It's all about experimenting. There we go. When this area is done, it will look probably going to be the most immersive themed area inside the park. I keep zooming out and looking just so I can see what's actually going on. Yeah, that's kind of what I had in mind. Kind of what I had in mind, that is. Bear in mind we control the speed of the launch and everything like that, so we don't have to worry about that for now. Should just do autocomplete from now and then it's done. Yeah. We're going to go sort of straight from this point now. Straighten her up. Yeah, that's nice. I want to make sure we've got some big moments of airtime in this ride as well. So if we send that back over the launch out of the pits. We think about airtime. I mean, you look at that, that'll be a real nice sort of pocket of airtime there. Think about height, we've gone down there, we can afford to, yeah, we can afford that. Bear in mind, it's going to be going at quite a pace at this point. That's good, that's what we want. No inversions as of yet. Like I say, it's not going to be filled with inversions, but it is going to have a few. There we go. Oh, that's lovely, that is. Yeah, it's just what I had in mind, that. Right, back onto terrain. Do the same sort of thing on this side now. Might be going a little bit deeper on this side, actually. Obviously, we want to make sure that the water doesn't start coming in there because we don't want that to be a lake. So this will sort of be the area entrance coming down here and into the coast. And maybe we can work the footpath in to go underneath it or something. Yeah, bear in mind this is going to be futuristic theme around here, so we might be able to theme this something to do with maybe craters or something like that, is what I'm thinking. Of course, we'll crack on with the theming mostly in the next episode, but we will make a start on it in this one. That's nice. Oh, I do like how it sort of automatically does that, and it says like the boundary, if you like, to where your track can be. I'm liking this so far. There we go. Right, I think it's time to think about inversions and what we've got. So I'm going to have a little look, because I've not built one of these before. I'm going to have a little look at what we've got down here. In terms of inversions, got a dive loop. Oh god, oh my god, look at that. That'd be a bit unrealistic. What I'm thinking is we go for maybe like an incline loop or something like that. Maybe it'd be quite good around here. That's interesting. Obviously we won't be able to go with that height, but it's all about sort of guesswork, isn't it? It's quite interesting just looking at what inversions we can have on these actually. See, that looks quite cool. Not going to go with that, but... Oh yes, look at that, bit of a Shambhala special. Yeah, we'll cancel that for now. We're not going to go with an inversion in there. I don't know. I don't think it is the right place. We'll wait until we just get out of the pit. Let's go into another big turnaround point then up here. Start to bend that round. That's one thing I love about Taron at Phantasialand, the fact that the banking on some of them corners is incredible. We need to get that warmed up, I think, in that track piece there and start to get that turning, I think. That's a bit more like it. There's some amazing coasters what people have built out there on Planet Coaster there, and you know, a lot better than my coasters. I mean, I do love building these coasters, but I'm not amazing at doing it. I just sort of, like I say, I like building an overall experience, not just the coaster itself. So with this overbank, we really want to make sure that we get the banking really nice and tight on that, So I'm going to start to turn it around this way, lower it down ever so slightly. Of course, we'll go along all this with the smoothing tool shortly as well, and just make sure that it's nice and smooth. You can probably guess already with this one, it's not going to be a massively tall coaster. Oh, look at the banking on that. Yeah, it's exactly what I had in mind for that. That's really good. I can imagine some big sci-fi theming all the way around there. Should be nice. This coaster should make it round that. I mean, you think about how much speed it's going to have. I know, yes, technically that there's 30 and this is 14, but you think we've come down from 26, we've got the speed of the launch, which it'll be around 60 miles an hour, I guess. That's good. And we'll start to reduce that banking down ever so slightly. Then we'll start to do that just here. We'll oh, going the wrong way there. Yeah. You can tell that I've not done one of these before. Of course, we still want it to be gaining speed at this point, so we'll go as low down as we can. To the coaster. That's it. And at this point now we can resume the norm. Start to send it back up. That also acts as a really, really good head chopper. Look at that if you're coming down this drop. Oh yeah, that's great. And then bear in mind you have some really good theming all the way around there. Let's just go all around this section just here and use the smoothing tool just to get that right. So instead of smoothing the banking, we'll smooth it all. And this just helps basically just smoothing that out and smooth it. Right, that's obstructed because obviously the coaster there. That'll be fine though. Yeah, you can see how that's changed that quite a bit just there. We click it quite a few times. It basically just smooths it all out and reprofiles it a little bit basically so it doesn't ride like the New York coaster over in Las Vegas, which is a Togo and it's profiled awful. See how it just makes them little changes. I always click it quite a few times just to get it right. There we go, that looks really good. Quite a nice layout so far. It's going to be probably the longest coaster on the park, actually, this one as well, because it will be multi-launched. There we go. That's nice. I'm liking that. I think what we'll do is have a little, let's have a little test of that and let's see how it runs. So we're on 60 miles an hour. Might be a little bit too quick up here on that, but we'll see how it runs at that speed for now. Bear in mind we can change the speed of them launches. Oh wow. Oh, look at that. Airtime coming up. Yeah, that's actually quite a good speed. Might be a little bit too quick, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, that's good. Oh, that's that. Yeah, I'm really liking that. So what I'm thinking about then is putting in my first inversion on the ride just about here. I think it's time for it. What I've looked at is numerous different inversions here, but what I'm thinking is we go for a butterfly inversion to the right. Now, it go quite slow over it. Obviously, butterfly inversion, it goes upside down. Oh, there you go. It goes upside down twice. But what I'm thinking is, you're going to get a lot of hang time. I think it will make it round that. In fact, what I'll do, I'll put it in, and then we'll test it. There we go. I mean, that looks good. That does. I really like that. Bear in mind, there's going to be a lot of quite tall buildings around here in this sci-fi area. I think that'd fit in really, really nice. I do quite like the track colour as well, as it is, to be honest. I do think that I'll just make that. I think it'll go slower over this section just here, but we'll test it and have a little look. And see, like I say, I mean, we can always adjust the speed of the launch, but then it might make the rest of it too intense. But you think about that, it's got some good speed around there, look. Into that airtime mill, and then it's just going to gain more speed on that drop round here. I think it'll just creep over that. Yeah, that's made it. Hang time, you know, even more now. Oh, I love it. I really like that. That's awesome. Yes, it's quite slow, but I do really like the hang time on that. I think that really makes the element there, to be honest. You wouldn't want it to go too quick over there. That's brilliant. And bear in mind, there's only going to be 4 trains on the circuit. Oh, I think that's great. I'm pleased with that. I'm going to leave that just as it is. No edits needed there. That was nice and easy, wasn't it? Here we go. So we'll make sure that we don't take this too high, because obviously we're going quite slow at this point. We are starting to lose a little bit of speed now, so we want to make sure that we don't lose that just until we get to the other side of the station, because that is when we'll dip down again back into the pit on the other side. That's quite nice. Good thing about these Premier rides, you can do some sort of stranger things what you wouldn't normally do with other coasters from other manufacturers, like B&M for example. That's what I really like about Premier's rides. I noticed that on Full Throttle there's some really nice sort of banking and turns. Just completely messed that up then. That's better. Bring it back around again. Yeah, some really nice banking and really nice turns. I'm saying banking way too much here, aren't I? That's nice, and that'll just pop over the station then. Oh yes, lovely. We can already start to bring that down. You might get a little pop of air time there. I don't think it's going to be going that fast at all at that point. This is where we're going to go into another relatively big drop now. That's good, I like that. So we're going to dig down again just here. And that's pretty much the footprint of the actual how big an area it's going to take. Once I put this hole in here, that's the size of the actual area the coaster is going to take up, because then it's going to come back round and we're going to do a second launch and all that kind of stuff. So let's spin that round and dig down a little. So we'll just open that terrain editor down the bottom just there. And then we can really start to lower the land again just here. Bit of an L shape going on with the land now. That's good, I like that. Like I said, that'll be the sort of footprint of the carriage. It's not a massive space at all. There we are. So we'll edit. Bear in mind, it's going to be going very slow at this point. So we're going to go take the riders straight back down into this massive drop. So we're keeping speed quite well, really. Smooth that a little bit. It just doesn't look right, that. Just to make sure we get that right. That looks better. Yeah, that's nice. Then we're going to go into a vertical loop when we get down to the bottom here. Again, we'll just keep that rolling for now. Get that down there a little bit more. Really maximise the speed. And then we go straight back down into vertical loop to the left. How big do we want it to be? Not massive. Bear in mind, we've hardly got any speed here at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to test that now, just to make sure that it is going to make it round there. Because you never know. Can't test him. I'm really liking this layout though so far. Off it goes. We'll also get to see the speed over the station now. I think it'll be really slow over that. That's what this coaster is all about though. It's different sensations, what you're going to get. One minute you're going to be launching and going really fast. Next minute you're going to be going really, really slow. That's what it's all about, this ride. Like, you got that slow hang time there, and a few seconds later you're going to be speeding down this massive drop. Up it comes. Oh, it's quite nice actually. Should just make that. There we go. Good speed for a loop. And then crash into the side of the hill. Right, let's carry on. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back on this. I'm going to move a little bit more of the terrain just around here. Well, that's a very weird footer, isn't it? We can do the overbank outside then, before coming round into our next launch. Because it is a multi-launch coaster. It's going to be more of a booster launch than it is anything else. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And we're going to launch straight back out towards the coaster. I like how that follows the cliff side. It's nice, that. It's taken me quite a bit of time, this one. I did say it was going to be more of a time-consuming coaster, mainly because of the terrain work, what's being done alongside the coaster. I mean, bear in mind, this was all flat. It now isn't, and I'm building the terrain as I go. Really, it's a lot easier if you set your terrain before, but hey-ho. I like a challenge. Should be quite nice. We'll get the smoothing tool on all that as well. I've got quite a few scenery ideas for this as well, so stay tuned for that one in the next episode. See, I changed that quite substantially there. Just gives it a lot nicer feel when you smooth it off. You can also drop and drag these to smooth more areas out if you do want to, but I don't mind clicking each section. So I had a little think over the past couple of minutes, and what I've decided to do is bring that a little bit further back, bend that round to the right, of course get a bit of banking on the go. It's going to be the new rock work, that is. I think we need to bank that a little bit section as well. Yeah, that works like that. Just basically means we can go down into that second launch now. We get auto tunnel off now, so it doesn't mess with the terrain. And bam, we're in the place ready for launch number 2. Let's make that track piece a little bit shorter. What I would like to do is actually launch it over this section here. So again, what I'm going to do is just reduce. Going to delete that again. Reduce this a little bit. a bit better. It means we can just come into that a little bit earlier then. Yeah, that's loads better. A lot of concentration going into this coaster. There we go. Bring that back round to where we want it. And that'll be the point we're going with the next launch. I mean, it's not going to be travelling that fast here. I know it's just gone through that loop, but you got to bear in mind the inversions on that first section of the coaster are taken quite slowly. I'm pleased with that. Might look like we just dug a massive pit out just for a little bit of track there, but this next section of the coaster will really make use of that. One of my favourite coasters out there actually in Florida is Cheetah Hunt. I know that's a bit controversial because there's quite a few people who find it a bit boring, but I really, really like Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens. So it's a little bit Cheetah Hunt inspired as well, this. Again, I'm just going to change the position of that ever so slightly. And we can get some more linear synchronous motors in for that next launch. Oh yes, now we're talking. What we got here then? Ooh, nice. Bit of a cobra roll over it. Oh my god, look at that, that's insane. Ah, an incline loop. Now that is nice. Oh, I think that really works. Let's put that in, I think. That will be the tallest point of the coaster there then as well. 26 meters. Yeah, I'm really liking that. And also, we can change the launch speed as well. I reckon probably 60 again will get it up there. Bear in mind, it's got a little bit of speed when it comes onto the launch. It's not starting from a standstill. Don't want the coaster to come anywhere over here. So I'm going to give it into another overbank. Round to the left. Obviously we're going to be able to get quite a bit of height on this now. That's what we want. We've come down from 26 meters there. So we should have quite a lot of speed to play with. And then what I'm thinking is we go back down into the pit then, you see, and make the most of that. Some of the drops on this coaster are fantastic. Trying to get as close as we can to that track section. What I'm thinking is we do another little bit of terrain editing. It means then we can send it down a little bit further underneath. is what I think we want just there. Footprints actually ended up being a little bit bigger than what I'd originally intended, but that's not a problem. It's not like we're short on space with this park or anything. There's, you know, a lot of room to play with. That's what I want. Yeah, that's bro. So if we smooth that a little bit. Definitely my longest build of a coaster, this one though. I feel like a lot of thought is really going into the design of this. Like I say, partially inspired by Taron, partially inspired by Cheetah Hunt. God, imagine launching and then ended up down there though. You know, coming out here and whoa, that's nice, that is. Probably my favourite coaster what I've built so far. So at this point now, it's all about bringing the coaster really close to the ground and making the use of this space here back down into that pit before coming round into the brakes. I do want to get at least one more inversion in there, maybe a couple. So what I'm thinking is here, obviously it's going to be going very fast still at this point, so if we straighten that up a little bit, then we can send it straight back down. Bit of an airtime hill there. Everybody loves a good airtime hill. Then we can start to bring it down and round. I think we need to gradually bank that a little bit. You'll still get a good pocket of air time there. It's not banked too much at the top. Bear in mind, at this point the coaster is going to be going fast, so we don't want to do any drastic manoeuvres. And we can maybe send it up now into another inversion. So what we've got, maybe a corkscrew would be quite nice. It'd have to be quite big though because of the speed. That could actually work really nice in there. Like I said, I did want to get another inversion in. I'm not 100% confident in that. It might be too quick. But we'll send it and we'll have a little look. Wow, that looks really nice now. It's quite a long layout. Definitely the longest coaster we've got in the park. We get to see how it runs now. So nice and fast there on that banking. Loads of air time. Still building up speed. And then straight up into the rolls. Really slow. Hang time up there. Whoa, crawling around the track. Back round over the station. No real air time there. Into a loop again. A little bit quicker than the last inversion, but still quite slow. Then round banks to the left. And banks to the right. And into launch number 2. Off it goes. Into an incline loop. Really nice and fast. Really quick turnaround point there. And round it comes into the corkscrew. That's really nice, that, because I like how that's a really quick inversion there as well, because we've had some quite slow ones so far. Yeah, I think that really works. I can see us doing some really good theming all the way around that as well. God, this really is taking its time, isn't it? Let's think about where we're going here, because it was very, very quick still there. We don't really want to send it over. Maybe we can just, if we start to bank it here, just send it round the back. Like that. That's what exactly what I was thinking. And that'll really reduce the speed up at the top. Oh, that'd be a nice element. I think that'll just make it. I mean, it's got quite a bit of speed going for it, hasn't it? Oh yeah, that'll make it easy. Definitely need the smoothing tool on that, just to really smooth that out a little. Quite intense, that, actually. Bit of a funny angle. Oh, I've accidentally clicked the station instead of where I wanted to go. That's lovely, that is. Like I say, you can definitely tell that it's a premier coaster with its design just here. Again, we're going to check the speed there just to make sure that's actually going to be okay and not too fast. Okay, so I have just watched that back and it goes way too fast over there for my liking, so I'm going to have to do a few little tweaks to this. I do like what we had there with the overbank. Like I say, it went so quick over it. I think instead we're going to come up round into a corner. And get some mega air time on there instead. That's good. Smooth that off. Yeah, that's nice. We'll send it for its final sort of run, if you like. I want it to go back down into the pit. We've made the most of the 3 big sort of pits that we've dug for this ride here. And it's not actually that tall a coaster, really, in terms of above ground. Be quite nice if we went through the loop here. That would make it. Wouldn't worry too much about that support disappearing. You're not going to see it when we got a little theme in him. That's nice. Getting another big pocket of airtime there as well. This part of the coaster is going to be very, very fast. That's what we want. We've got some slow parts, we've got some fast parts, and it's a long coaster. We've got some potential for some really, really good near misses and theming items on this. Gonna make that track section a little bit longer. Good thing, of course, with this is we have got the speed to play with. Oh, that'd be a bit edgy, wouldn't it? Imagine coming around there into that. It's like so close to rocks. Look at that. Then I'm going to send that round and just see what speed we've got before. I'll put it in and then we'll see what speed we got on that. So I just sent that round for a test news, and the good news is that goes at a perfect speed just over that 13-metre hill there, which is just what I want, really. That's brilliant. So now I want this coaster to end now. I think it's gone on for long enough now. It's a very long layout. Let's think about how we're going to send this back round and into the station. So we're obviously going to have the brake run and things all on the back just here. It's just thinking how we're going to do that, how we're going to get out of this pit. I don't think we're going to need much braking though by the time we've got out of it, to be honest. So what I'm going to do here is slightly lower the land, and we can look at taking it straight out here then. We could have maybe gone for a barrel roll or another cheeky inversion, but we're not going to. I think this ride should come to an end now. It's got to that stage. You can have too much of a good thing, so to speak, in more ways than one. I do think that it is time for this ride to come to an end. So there we go, that gets us out the hill. We should have enough speed here, like I say, to get up. We'll soon find out when I test it in a moment. Bit of curvy profile in there, that's what we want. I think that probably doesn't need any banking. I think that'll be alright, just as it is. Let's get that on flat. There we go. So it's come to the point of the ride now where we need to put some brakes in. Don't think it's going to have much speed here, hence why I haven't really banked it at all there. I just don't think it needs it. I think it's just going to literally crawl around into the brake section just there. Then we'll add block brakes in there at the end as well. That's it. And if we use that magic autocomplete there, it just sends it straight back around there for me. That one would have been quite easy to connect actually there anyway, but for the sake of ease, we may as well do that. There we go. That's the coaster. I might have to do a few changes to it, but in general, that is my double launch roller coaster in the Sci-Fi area, and that does nearly bring us towards the end of the episode. But of course, I would not dare upload this without showing you a POV, so don't worry, I'm going to. So yeah, let's send it round first, testing just to watch the speed of it. And I'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll have a POV to wrap up the episode. Been quite a long one. I know it's literally just been building this coaster, but quite a few people said they don't want to see me speed up we build the coaster. They want to see it in real time so they can actually get a gist of either how to do it or how I've done it or just general playing about, that kind of thing. Here we go. So we know from this point here everything's fine. Nice and fast around there. And then this is where we get some really good hang time. Even better hang time here. Oh, it's so slow. It's like G-force. Great manner. There we go. And it goes down into the loop, which is enhanced nicely now by the second section of track coming through it. Back round there. Into launch number 2, taking us up into the incline loop. Such a good speed on that. And we do a little overbank. Around this way, maybe a little bit more banking might be needed just there on that corner. Into the corkscrew. Up again to another tall point. Into another big drop. And up again. And this is where we have a nice slow decline. Oh yes, that's lovely. That comes in really nice into them brakes, doesn't it? I don't think any banking's needed there at all, really. I mean, we've got it on this section here. That just crawls in at a nice speed, that does. There we go. Right, enough of me talking about it. Let's have a POV of the brand new roller coaster here at Volcano Springs. Let's see what it's like. Here we go. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed the POV of the brand new Premier Launch coaster here at Volcano Springs. I'm really pleased with that. I think it looks really good. There's a little bit of banking that I'm going to change it on the side just here and over here as well. But apart from that, I'm really happy with it. A little bit of profile that needs sorting out, and then this coaster will be there. But overall, I really like the layout of it. I think it looks good. But of course, in my coasters, it starts to come alive when I do the theming, all the terrain work and everything that comes alongside it. So in the the next episode we'll make a start on the huge theming project, which is going to take the next couple of episodes. It's theming up this whole coaster, putting footpaths in all this area around it. We'll do a little bit of footpath work before the next episode to get it ready. But of course these episodes are pre-recorded at the moment. If you are watching during May or June 2017, we are out there on our Asia mega trip at the moment, out in Japan and also in Shanghai and Hong Kong in China as well. So there's so much going on Theme Park Worldwide. Make sure you check out our other videos. Before I wrap up this episode, let's just quickly nip back over to the fantasy area, which has now got a name thanks to last week's YouTube comments. Now we had so many awesome names that you guys suggested, but I've picked a name for the area and a name for the Vintage Cars ride, both from the same person because I absolutely loved both the names, and it is Game Master James who commented the name of the area should be the Fairy Tale Fair. I love that. And he said the Vintage Car Ride should be called Storybook Quest. Two really good names there. Like I said, there's more enhancements to come with this area. I'm happy with this side, but there's a little bit more work I want to do on this side. Well, I say a little bit, quite a substantial amount more theming details, and now we've got a name and things, adding more theming in and more of a story to the buildings, that sort of thing. And of course the teacups and some dark rides at the back there as well. But there we go, that wraps up this episode. It's been the longest one we've had in a while. I hope you've enjoyed it here on Theme Park Worldwide. I'll see you in around a week and a half's time for the next episode of Let's Play Planet Coaster here on the channel. I'm Shawn, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later, guys.